To go on the JC talk show in CJCS in Stratford, Ontario.
JC.
And I was at home going over UFO sizes, shapes, speeds, because it was a call-in with questions, and I wanted to make sure that I knew the answers for that. And one of the things I was reading about as well was MIBs. I was familiar with them. And I heard a knock on the door. I opened the door. I stepped back in surprise.
Yes?
Would you like a photograph of your family or children?
Nice.
What? Is he a robot? What is going on?
This is so that's got to be the same guys, right? Canada can't have two sets of these guys going around. Let's try to hear a little better. Play soundboard 3 for me, please.
Would you like a photograph of your family or children?
Sounds like someone quantized his voice, like to a like a beat. So, would you like a photograph?
You know, somebody can remix this into a really sick beat.
It does sound like a remix.
Well, I tried to clean it up and remix it into a sentence. Let's hear the Russ remix of that soundboard.
Oh yes.
Would you like a photograph of your family or children?
Nice.
Why? What is going on with that voice? Where did they get that from?
That's the Men in Black. That's what they sound like. Maybe they can speed up and learn from it and sound better now.
Would you like a photograph of your family or children?
Also, can I get your number?
Why would you want a photograph of your family or your children? What the fuck is he even talking about?
Rob, why would you... Wait, do you not have any photos of your family?
But I don't want one from this guy.
Oh, yeah. Oh, he's just going to take a picture for you if you're a tourist.
Ooh, I don't know. If I answered the door and somebody said that, I would be looking to see if they had peed themselves. Because something's wrong with this person.
I'm a sucker for that, though. I like photographs. I would probably have said yeah.
Wow.
Well, let's hear her explain her thoughts on this encounter.
He spoke in that really broken, insanely mixed up manner. When the Man in Black visited me, afterwards I did discover that some of the files that I had were missing. A lot of people believe that MIB are aliens. They can be humanoid. Some people believe that they are government agents. They show up after sightings, they confiscate, they threaten, they intimidate. I don't know what they are, but I can tell you that when you're in the presence of one, you will never forget them.
Yeah, okay. She does call out the way they talk too. I like that whoever did this reenactment was probably sticking to a script that she made him do, because that is so weird.
Yeah, because did we hear about that when people were talking about the Men in Black in Point Pleasant? Did they mention a speech pattern?
Nah, I don't know. I talked to that Man in Black guy. He seemed pretty credible and knowledgeable about being a Man in Black, and he wasn't going, hi, I am a picture of family, children.
This clip is too long. God, I have to wait for him to finish this fucking sentence.
There's a lot of spaces between the words that he says. So
let's only use Russ's remix from here on out, please, for the sake of
that is the remix.
Brevity. No,
I don't know though. I have a hard time accepting the idea that they're aliens, because it's just so weird to think of like aliens going and like getting fitted for a suit. And like just like getting sunglasses, like aliens picking out black Ray-Bans. Those are expensive, so like you have to have a credit card. So that means Alien has a credit card. Otherwise, like,
they're probably not accredited.
This happened. Looks like it looks like he's in the mall or something when this happens, or maybe they said where he was, a train station or something like that. But they also portray these guys as super weird. Like I said, there's no hair and they have no ears. They have eyes. They have no ears.
What?
They're really, really strange. We'll have to post a picture.
I have a mini theory about this. At least why there'd be a difference, because if they're also dressed up in the suits with the glasses, it could just be the fact that they're Canadian Men in Black and they're not the American Men in Black. You know, it's cultural differences, so just chill out.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's really weird, though. It's definitely weird.
Yeah, that's for damn sure.
Well, let's go back to Kenneth Welsh now, the Canadian Robert Stack, for his Men in Black wrap-up.
On October 8th, 1981, Hannah McRoberts accidentally photographed an odd silver-colored disc near Kelsey Bay in the northern part of Vancouver Island. The photograph, which has undergone much analysis, is now considered to be one of the most credible in the history of UFOs. What's interesting is that Hannah McRoberts took her photo just 5 days after Grant Breland's UFO sighting, and 3 days after his strange encounter with the disturbing men in black at the Victoria Shopping Centre. Just a coincidence?
If these men in black do exist, they are truly masters of the art of being discreet.
Oh, wow. See, that's a Kenneth Welsh.
I don't have to vehemently disagree based on how weird they seem to everybody who comes across them. I don't think that they're being that discreet.
No, he might be one of them. The way he's blowing them at the end there, it's kind of weird.
It is a weird connection that all these UFOs are showing up right around the time that these weird men in black are there with no ears. Like, I don't know. Sounds like maybe they are aliens now. I'm on the fence about that.
This thing, I mean, just even watching it makes you totally think that they're aliens. Because when they kind of chase after that guy after they ask him for his number, you know, when they say,
"Ew,
what is your number?"
Right. He runs away, of course, when he hears that. And when they give chase, they look kind of weird. They do a good job of making it look like not normal people running. But that's enough of Canadian Men in Black. Drea, would you like to spin the wheel?
Yeah, cool. Move out of the way.
All right, hit it.
All right. Ooh.
Whoa.
Yeah. I win.
It's the Loop Garoop.
Yes. Are you kidding me?
Oh, he's back.
Congratulations.
They have one there.
Loop Garoop.
Loop Garoop.
They pull up the Loop Garoop files. All right. Boop, boop. Yes, Canada has the Loop Garou also, or the Rougarou, or whatever you want to call them. For the viewers' sake, Now, for some reason, for the viewer's sake, they continually say werewolf, even though they really mean Loop Garoop. And you can hear them saying Loop Garoop because most of this is translated. Now, let's hear them talking about Loop Garoop.
In July 1766, the Quebec newspaper La Gazette announced that a werewolf was running wild in the county of Kamouraska. The newspaper also added that the beast was as dangerous as the one seen the year before in Gévaudan, France, which had terrorized the population to the point where the King of France, Louis XV, had dispatched his best marksman, Antoine de Beauterme, to kill it. By the time it died, the legendary beast had killed more than 120 victims.
Sick.
Yeah, France.
Damn.
France and French culture so deep into Loop Garoop and Loup-garou. Yes, of course it's in Canada because there's so many French settlers there.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
That's Loop Garoop, all right.
They brought it with them from France. Why did they do that?
And then they brought it down here by me.
God damn it.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Sue them.
That Acadian migration, be damned. But let's hear more about the Rougarou in Quebec.
We have lots and lots of legends in Quebec about werewolves, especially in a Catholic context. Because what characterizes the werewolf in Quebec is that it's someone who didn't fulfill their Easter duties for 7 years in a row. What this means is they had to go to communion during Holy Week, or by the first Sunday after Easter at the latest. And bells were rung in a number of Quebec parish churches on the eve of this first Sunday after Easter, basically to mourn the deaths of those who had not fulfilled their Easter duties.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, they were
no pun intended. Wow.
They are that sure that those people are now Loup-garous, that they're just ringing the bells and already mourning them before anything happened. Yeah, it has the same rules. Google Rougarou.
You can Google Rougarou.
This one has the same rules as the swamp one. You know, this is definitely a migrating creature.
And it has to count things when you put them down. Like, if you put more than 13, it can't count past them too.
What about its mouth? What about its mouth?
Look at that mouth.
Canadians seem to hold it together more when they talk about their Loup-garous. But yeah, about those rules, they go on.
So those who hadn't gone to communion underwent a transformation in the middle of the night, and they roamed around the countryside. People saw wolves. Father Lionel Groux told me himself that his father was once followed by a wolf, and that in order to get rid of it, he had to take a knife and stab it with it. And lo and behold, the man who appeared before his very eyes was naked, bleeding, and he said, "Don't tell another soul in the parish I was a werewolf. I've been condemned, and what you did let me change form, and thanks to you, I'm free at last."
Yeah, fucking thank you for stabbing me. My God.
Yes, and I couldn't get, is he going to get healed? Did that guy just die? He died,
I think
right?
It's like, no, you stab the Rougarou, and then it turns back into the person.
It's
and
like,
the
I'm
person,
better now.
Yeah, then all of a sudden
you
he's
stab him somewhere non-fatal.
was reportedly porky pigging.
running around porky pigging because they stabbed
More than
him.
that, because Porky Pigging's going to be wearing more clothes than this guy.
That's true. That's true. More than just...
This guy's a straight Daffy Ducking.
So I guess it wasn't much of a healing. It was. So we don't only get just history, but we're going to get a first-hand account of a Canadian loup-garou.
While the full moon is generally associated with legends of werewolves, a couple from Blue Sea Lake, Quebec met up with one of these creatures in complete darkness. It was around 10 p.m. that the Gagnon-Bruyères ran into a creature beyond their wildest imagination.
We saw a creature covered with hair standing upright in the middle of the road. It was in the car's headlights. We could quite clearly see it was some kind of wolf standing on its hind legs, about 7 to 8 feet tall, with medium long fur, its teeth bared as though it was angry at being caught. I even saw its claws.
That background sound.
So this reenactment, this is definitely during a reenactment, and this thing it's like a metal video, man. This thing is going nuts. It's got like the plaid shirt all ripped up, and it just looks like a great. It looks like a high level Halloween costume, but clearly a plastic mask. The thing goes nuts. The guy playing the wolf was having the time of his life doing this.
Yeah, he sounded like he was at a concert too.
Yeah, it's a lot of howling in this. It was really metal scene. It looked like and it looked like Thriller almost. It was like a bad Thriller. Oh. But here's more of that lady in this terrifying Canadian experience.
Suddenly, the beast leapt 15 meters and disappeared into the night.
No living human being could possibly have jumped from the middle of the road to the other side like that. That really knocked me for a loop. I asked my husband if he saw it too. I thought I was hallucinating, and so did he, because he told me, "I don't believe this. It's like those stories that our grandmothers told us about werewolves, about 7 or 8 feet tall."
Wow.
A loop, all right. The loup-garou.
That's loup-garou, all right.
That's what she's talking about.
Yeah.
They were for a loup-garou.
This episode is full of puns, and I'm tired of it.
And look, I know what you're thinking, Rob. Rob, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking these guys are just Canadians, right? You probably think they're drunk. I've heard you talk.
What?
I've heard you talk. I know what you're saying.
I would never. I love Canadians.
Well, just so you know, not every Canadian is always drunk. And she's going to answer those claims here.
We talked to some of our friends about this thing that we had seen, and our friends said we were probably drinking that evening, or had taken something that made us hallucinate even. But I can't drink. I've never drunk. And as for drugs, I don't go near them. My husband doesn't either. The friends we went to see are also non-drinkers, so no way did we take anything. We were nowhere near being tired, so it wasn't even that late at night. But we couldn't make them believe us. That was the first and the last time we mentioned it to anyone.
That was the longest dismissal of drunk accusations. We were drunk. I couldn't even drink if I have no mouth. They have no ears.
They might be tripping. They might be tripping, you know? Remember this?
I mean, shit. I'm sure they don't, willingly take drugs and she stays away from them, but they could have been dosed. But no, I believe her.
That's what people always say when crazy shit happens.
I hate that. Yeah, I could see if they were like, oh yeah, I was tripping on acid and I saw this thing, then okay, that makes sense. That could be a hallucination. But even if you're just smoking weed, I haven't hallucinated.
I think
really,
you would know
not
if a wolfman attacked you. Yeah,
I've never
some kind of constitution.
I have never ever seen an alien, a werewolf, a goblin. None of that when I'm high. It just doesn't happen. That's not how it works.
Yeah, I only see that shit when I'm sober.
Yeah, that sober people see those things.
And it's weird that she said that it was her friends that were asking her this, and later she's like, well, and none of my friends drink either. It's like, well, who? The people accusing you? It's confusing. They go on. Then they kind of it kind of goes off. They start to compare the Lugaroo to the Dogman that we already know about. You know, old